Oh, yep, here we are, Hello everybody, hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Mike from Mike's Magic Auto Detailing and Paint Enhancement right here in, today at least, sunny Sharpsburg, Georgia. That wasn't the case like yesterday. Oh boy. Yeah, there's Sally sitting outside forlornly. She's so nasty this time. I'm not going to be able to do a rinseless wash. It's going to take a full contact wash. Oh man, I don't know if y'all can see that dent right on her. I picked that up in a parking lot somewhere. God dang it. Well, they're still working on paving the streets here in my subdivision. I guess some guys have all knocked off for the day. You can see some of their equipment still sitting down there. What was interesting yesterday is they were spraying the roadway with water, with a big water truck. I guess that's to keep down the dust at some of the stuff they do. But what was interesting is the guy was spraying and it was pouring down rain. But some of you may remember our little 1986 Ford Ranger, star of a couple of movies, TV series. The TV series Stranger Things, I believe. American Standard, I think, was a Tom Cruise movie it was in. But they, oh Lord of mercy. Some of the shots one day, they decided the truck was too clean. If some of you may remember. Oh, somebody's watching. You may remember. So they sprayed it, what I've come to find out is called Hollywood mud, which, as I understand it, if you wash it off pretty soon thereafter, it's not a big deal. But apparently that wasn't the case with this truck. And plus, I think it was a relatively fresh paint job, so the clear coat was very soft. And if y'all remember the photographs, that stuff was everywhere. It had stained all this stuff, all the painted surfaces, the chrome, the plastics, the vinyl, the rubber, the little spoiler down, everything was sprayed everywhere. It was all over the wheels and tires, the glass. And I'm here to tell you, I've been cleaning on this truck since Sunday. Some of it I had to wash 3 times, 4 times, and then it still did not get all of that stuff off. And I mean, I tried everything. I had every chemical that I own. I used Purple Power Vehicle and Boat Wash. I used F-Bomb, which is a very strong foaming cleaner from American Detail. Man, some of it I used non-acidic wheel cleaner. I think I showed y'all a photograph of that in one of my earlier posts. On some of it I even used the decon spray, which I eventually deconned the entire vehicle. And then there was still some stuff left. So that's when I used clay bar, a mild grade, because I didn't want to use aggressive. I don't know how durable this paint job is because it's not that old. And the clay bar pretty much got the remnants of it off of all the painted surfaces. But stuff like this bumper here, the back bumper, that's a rough matte black. I'm not sure what kind of paint that is, but you can't clay bar that. You just can't. Oh man, they had sprayed all that stuff all in these nooks and crannies here. It got all up in here, all up inside around the headlight bezels, all over the headlights. And I had to clean and clean and clean and clean and clean. And I had to use, on all of this stuff, I had to use those soft detail brushes, particularly on some of this kind of paint here and that's on the plastic parts. It's not very good paint, not very durable, and you have to be careful you don't scratch it. Had to clay bar all these chrome pieces, everything. The wheels, the little beauty, what do they call those things? Little baby moon hubcaps. All the headlights, which thank goodness are glass. All the plastic lenses, everything. And man, that stuff had gotten all up in the little Ranger emblems. Yeah, I had to get the real soft. This thing is really soft. It's almost like a makeup brush, folks. And I had to spray. And the chemical that I seemed to have the best results with was Citral 266. And I had to spray that stuff on there, let it dwell. Even got my steamer out. Some of this had to be steamed off with the steamer and then agitate in here and agitate and agitate and agitate. Sometimes 3, 4, 5, 6 times I had to do that, then rinse it to see what I had left, and I'd be like, no, I didn't get it all, so then I'd have to go back again. You have to use these super soft brushes because you don't want to scratch this. It was a pain getting it off all these plastic, like these mirrors, because this paint is very soft and it just sucked that, whatever that mud stuff is, into it. Oh man. And I know it had to have sat out in the sun because they even got it inside the door jambs, which they are clean now, but where, you know, where the sun wasn't getting on it, a little bit of Citral 266 diluted down 4:1, and a microfiber towel, a dampened microfiber towel. Most of that just wiped right off. There were a few stubborn spots that I had to get the clay bar out for. As you can see, I got the seat cover on, got protecting the floorboard there. Man. But this truck is clean now. It is clean now. And what I'm getting ready to do is, I think I got most of that stuff off of the glass, but there are a lot of what we call drizzle stains, hard water stains that have bonded to the glass, and no amount of glass cleaner, clay barring, none of that is going to remove that stuff. It's a little hard to see because the lights, there's some right there. Trust me, it's there. You can really see it. I don't know if y'all can on the side glass here and on the windshield, but what I'm going to do there, I'm going to do what we call a topical glass polish. And what I'm going to use is this product right here, Diamondite glass polish. That's what it's designed for, is what we call topical polish. And I won't be doing any substrate polishing, but I'm going to use my little rotary buffer and a wool pad on a 3-inch backing plate that's got good foam, but thick foam backing on it, so I won't need the interface pad this time. And I'll do all this exterior glass, which should remove 95% of all that stuff. Yeah, it got all over this glass, these rubber moldings. It just had saturated in there, and it just, oh man. So, and then when I'm come to that point, I will put some probably trim restore called solution finish on all this to bring it back to where it's supposed to be, and maybe even put that, they have a top coat for it. As you can see, I'm ready to start polishing on the windshield, and I have taped off this rubber molding to protect it. You don't want to be hitting that with the buffer. And then of course I'll get my tinfoil, you know, out. I'll wrap these to protect them from sling, so it's just easier to clean up. Because if you ever get sling all up in there, and these little things, I mean, it can be a pain to clean that stuff up. And I'll probably cover this part up right here, cover these up. I spent a lot of time cleaning out all these little nooks and crannies, and I don't want to get glass polish or anything down in there and have to clean them again. So I'll probably just put a towel or something over that to protect it. Just just to make cleanup a little bit easier, protect this little sprayer here. Yeah, so I pointed this out in the earlier video. It's only got one sprayer for the windshield. And it's pointed more towards the driver's side. That's the sprayer hole over here. I guess they figure if the driver can see, the passenger don't matter. Little bugs are landing all over it. But once I get all the glass polished, I may have to do a quick, what I call a rinseless wash on the thing again, which won't take very long because this is a pretty small truck. And then I'll start the fun stuff, buffing the paint. And then after all that's done, we paint prep and all that stuff, then we'll put the coating on there. The tires will get coated, wheels, all this stuff will. And I'm pretty sure my notes say he wanted the titanium coating for the glass as well, so they'll get coated. I don't know if y'all remember how nasty the bed of this truck was. It was nasty. And for some reason, pickup truck beds are very difficult to do. And some of those spots I thought were dirt when I started cleaning, but it turns out it's where something had chipped the paint off, or that stuff had bonded to the paint and got up under it, because they put it on really thick in the bed, it looked like, and it may not have cured good enough before they sprayed that stuff over it. But it turned out really nice, very clean. Whew, man, it was it was a beast. It was a beast. And I had the same problems back here with this rear bumper. I think I had some pretty good photographs of that when we were doing them when I first started out. It was covered in that stuff, and I mean, it was stuck to it like super glue. And you, like there again, you can't clay bar that. You just can't. So I went over it and over it and over it and over it. It probably took an entire day, probably 4-6 hours, to do this bumper and that front bumper to get them absolutely clean. And you throw in all those little nooks and crannies in the grill and blah 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 blah. It took forever. Still, I'm gonna have to do some polishing on those tail lenses too. Oh man, but you got to be careful. You know, that stuff, if you'd have took a scrub brush to it, it would have been hard to get off, but you can't do that to paint like this and some of these other stuff. Now, like rubber, you can, like the tires, you can scrub the hell out of that stuff, but this other stuff, you got to use those soft detailing brushes or you will scratch the paint, and then you got a real problem on your hand. But I'm about ready to go ahead and get started polishing on the glass, get it relatively clean. I don't know if y'all can see that, but there's a little bitty speck of that stuff. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. That did not come off. But when I get around here to it, I'll just grab a little bit of clay bar and it'll just wipe it. It'll take care of that. It'll take care of that. But a little bitty spot. But I've got all this taped up and I'm ready to go. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Those of you that did and had time to, I do appreciate you. Oh Lordy. And I will probably lightly polish these bumpers, because there's some streaking in there. That stuff left where it embedded down into that paint. I'll do a very light polish to try to remove all that. That bottom thing down there, that spoiler, whatever you want to call it, it'll get treated with some stuff. I haven't decided exactly what yet, but all this stuff will get treated and protected. And you know what? The next go around, it'll be much easier to maintain, particularly if you don't let it sit around with stuff on it, contaminants. And this stuff was a man-made contaminant, I guess you might want to call it. I don't know if it sat in the rain. I don't know all the other details. I just did whatever was necessary to get her clean. I did not anticipate it being this difficult. But, yeah, that's the way it goes, folks. Like, tag, share, follow, all that stuff. subscribe so that you'll get updated on the future segments on this truck. I may come back after I finish polishing the glass and show you guys that. I appreciate it, right? Thank you very much. Goodbye now.